What's up, everybody? It's AGX Comics here, back with another Night Terrors read and review. This time we're talking about number 3, and we're talking about Dead by Dawn. It's getting really exciting, so without further ado, if you're new to this series, what I basically do is I read the comic for you and then review it after. So if you're interested in catching up to this point, go and click the playlist below because that is actually where all the other videos for this event is going on and much more if you hit that subscribe button. So go ahead, do it, and then let's get into the video. So we kick this one off by watching kind of this is kind of how it's been going on, where we see Deadman kind of in this that show style, where he basically is saying, this is where things are basically getting interesting, and he always wanted to be in movies. Furthermore, it's just kind of like a little it's hard to explain. But it's like almost like a show thing, right? And then we go right back into where we left off, and that is Deadman and Sandman battling the night. I'm trying to remember the name that they were given in the last book, but the actual like the sleepless nights, right? Who are basically like the sleep demons, we'll say. It's like, I guess sleep demons is the best way to put it, of the villain Insomnia, right? And basically they're battling, and it's a pretty sick battle, and out of nowhere we hear "Get Away from My Father," and we see Damian Wayne, right? And this is kind of where the book starts off for this one, and he comes out of nowhere wielding a sword, and basically Deadman's like, "This is Damian Wayne, the son of Batman. Like what is he, how is he like, how is he awake, and how does he know that it's not Batman who's his father, who's in, being possessed by Deadman at that moment?" So from that moment, Damian basically rescues Sandman and Deadman, who is possessing Batman's body as of as of the last 4 issues, right? And they're basically asking, like, and Damian knows right away. It says, "Get out of his body. We know you're being possessed." So Deadman goes out of the body, and remember that no, alive, would say, human can like see Deadman, right? He's kind of like a ghost in a lot of aspects. But Damien calls him out by name, which is really odd. And basically, he's like, "Oh, he's like, how can you see him? How can you see me? How are you awake?" And the reason why Damien's awake is, he says, "I had a nightmare. Insomnia was in my dreams. He wanted me to forget, so I trained my mind to control my dreams." Now, this gives you a callback as to the free comic book day preview where Damian Wayne was working on it. So if you go all the way back to when the hints for this event were happening, way back like months ago, that was a part of the storyline in the free comic book day. And I didn't cover that one on my channel because honestly, I didn't actually get it. So that's why it's not in this playlist. But if I did, it would be in there. So, Deadman thinks, well, okay, well, what's it going to hurt to go back into Insomnia's memories? And so basically, we cut to this new scene where it kind of goes like black and white. And what it is he's in a survivors meeting, right? Free coffee survivors meeting. And we see his name is Christopher. And he's like, "You're on edge. This is traumatic. What happened to you?" And he says, "I haven't slept in days, doing everything I can to keep my eyes open." And the mediator of this meeting, right? It's almost like an AA kind of style meeting. It's like this little survivors meeting. Says, like, "Hey, what happened to you? You're traumatized. Like, you need to rest." He's like, "I can't rest and until the Justice League gets what they deserve, basically." And all you hear is, "You'll forgive the Justice League." And in that moment, he takes the coffee pot, smashes it over the guy's head, takes a shard of glass and gouges out his eyes. Then he gouges out his own like eyelids so he can never sleep, thus giving him that eye appearance of where it's just a complete circle because he cut off his own eyelids, which is insane. So we cut back to Deadman getting basically out of his memory, right? And basically he's like, Insomnia is trying to stop him from like keep going within like farther and farther into his memories. He doesn't want to be in there. Even though Deadman knows that there might be the answer to a lot of the questions behind Insomnia and who he is. But basically, they come up with this theory between Deadman, Sandman, and Damien. And kind of a little bit of a backstory on Sandman and how he developed his knockout gas, right? And basically, they're thinking that Insomnia has been through every one of the nightmares, through everyone in the DC universe, right? Now, the stone that John Dee hid is in no nightmare. It's in this place, right? It's in this limbo place, which is basically where they're setting up to go. So basically, they use this sleeping gas while the Sandman's going to fight off any of the sleepless nights that come for the two that are sleeping. And basically, using his chemical, they're going to go into the realm that they either call the Hollow or the reality stream. And basically it's almost, if you think of like purgatory in a sense. I mean, not that they're dead, but it's like the moment before you fully sleep. It's not a nightmare, it's not a dream, but it's also not reality. So it's this kind of like paradox level type of thing. But just for reference sake, it's called the Hollow, right? Or the reality stream. And there they walk upon this house. And in this house, they go in and it looks like a carnival stage, kind of where Dead Man actually died, right? And in there, basically, there's a dead body on the floor. And it's Dead Man. But he knows that he wasn't dead when he hit the floor when he got shot. So he's rolling around still begging for help. Dead Man knows that this is a ruse, and he rips apart the chest cavity of himself to thus pull out the Nightmare Stone. And when he does, we go back into present time, where we see that Sandman has been battling the sleepless nights, and basically they kind of like just disintegrate and explode because now Deadman's in Batman's body holding the actual Nightmare Stone, right? That Insomnia is after, and he says that we leave out the book of we have the Nightmare Stone. We can use this to stop Insomnia, and that's where this story wraps up. So, out of all the books, this is kind of the review portion. I gotta say, it's pretty good. It's not a bad book. This one was definitely really good. Definitely is the climax part of the book that they finally found this, Nightmare Stone. The four issues so far, if you count the first one, that they've been, after this thing. They've kind of assembled this team. The Damian Wayne part was definitely unexpected, but if you did read his solo, or it's the B story, I think, in the Batman books, you would know that he, got out of his nightmare. But yeah, all around, I'd say it's pretty good, and I'm looking up to wrap up number 4 when it comes out, and then obviously the Omega, which is the final issue, and that's kind of the wrap up sequence. But I thought this was a pretty good climax of this event. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. And if you stuck with me this part of the video, thank you guys for rocking with me. And please do me a favor and go and subscribe below. Until next time, see you later.